To talk about the implications of the reversal on financial institutions and traders alike, we're joined by Economist Doctor Sanele Gumede. Dr. Gumede, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, the VAT increase has been taken off the table. For one, we're seeing all those memes doing the rounds on social media, VAT on and VAT off. What's your assessment of this decision?
Good evening, Paul. Good evening to the viewers as well of SABC News. Yes, we should be jubilating and celebrating as the larger community of South Africa this reversal of the increase, which should have a very good impact on consumers for the entire year. However, obviously, it comes at its own cost, because as you'll imagine, that vendors as well have already planned and prepared that on the 1st of May, they're implementing the 0.5 percentage points increase in VAT. So price changes, the new tax of prices, there are other costs that have been incurred already by vendors for this to happen. But with the change now changing back, so that means they'll have to try one reverse those costs, or it may be a matter of trying to adding more costs now to change back, so that they are ready by the 1st. Or okay, if they can't, obviously, as they report to SARS, when SARS make a deadline of the 15th. So in a nutshell, if you look at it, what's going to happen is that ideally, as vendors are experiencing this increase in cost with the change in price tax from going to the 15.5 and now going back to 15%, someone must pay for those costs. And vendors and stores and all the shops don't try to recoup that money from consumers. So we must still see a price increase especially in the month of May in stores, given by a cost push that has been made by these uncertainties in whether VAT is on, VAT is off, VAT increase or not increase. It really we might still see some price increases in the month of May, but hopefully as the year progresses, then we'll go back to where it's supposed to be. That is in what consumers are likely to expect, even though it may not be an increase because of VAT per se, but it's an increase because cost have increased in stores.
So with that, and SARS having noted the cost implications of the hike, how do we break down compensation and how it'll work for vendors and consumers alike?
Quite difficult for consumers to get compensation back. Is really quite difficult. I think consumers will lose it away. I just do not think in a way that they could be compensated back. But with the vendors, and if you are a registered vendor, when there is a VAT implication that you have incurred, you claim back. For instance, if I run a business and I'm a VAT vendor and I buy something and you charge me, and the business charge me VAT, I go back and claim back VAT from SARS. I mean, there's that part that's already with the VAT vendors, but those who are not VAT vendors and they don't have that leeway of claiming it back. Especially problematic for those smaller businesses which do not make a turnover that is enough for a threshold for them to register as a VAT vendor, because for them they cannot pass it back to pass it forward, and they cannot claim VAT back from SARS because they're not VAT vendors. The threshold here is you should be making enough, 1 million, before you claim VAT, or voluntary registration for VAT is about 50,000 per month, which I bet for you to get there, smaller businesses which are dominant, township tuck shops are not covered. Majority of them in that scale.
Yes.
So there's not much risk limitation in loss minimization with them because they're not there. And again, for me and you, who's going to buy on the 1st of May something at a store, of which we'll be getting those negative impact in our pocket. There's no clear way of how we're gonna get back our reinvestment for our negative effects of this.
With all the backlash and just assessing the frustrations for VAT vendors and small to medium businesses in particular, do you think we could see this conversation resurfacing, this proposal being put back on the table?
Honestly, if we think about it, South Africa do need some form of financial framework, fiscal framework, which will get us out of the challenges we are having. We are currently still under junk status, and to get us back there to a better investment grade, we need to be able to do well in terms of our finances. One being able to reduce our debt servicing cost, our debt to GDP getting higher, and if you look at how much we are spending on debt servicing cost and the like, so governments still need to have a way of trying to say how are we making more money for them to spend and cover their obligations, and that at this moment is still not clear to say how the government plans to work this economy better, to make it where it has to be. Part of it is that we've been affected by very low growth, which we've not been growing for the longest time. And that is to say that we're still in limbo to say, okay, now VAT is out of the card for a moment, but what is the way to get the economy back where it's supposed to be? Are we seeing growth? And pretty much we're not seeing growth, and it's not really likely to say we're going to see 2%, 5% growth. Even the projections are not really promising to say we'll see the economy growing. So, and we still have those pressures because Moody's and Fitch, S&P will come again and then says, we're not seeing any growth prospect from South Africa, and we're not taking you out from junk status because we need to be out of junk status as well.
Very well. Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us this evening and helping us make some sense of this decision, the reversal of the VAT hike. Now, Economist Dr. Sanele Gumede wrapping that up for us.